Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly edition of Timeout Talks, which is brought to you by Chase and Thrill's custom t-shirts and accessories, and is also sponsored by the Ice Shaker, the only bottle you will ever need. Ladies and gentlemen, go buy your custom Timeout Talks apparel via www.chaseandthrills.com, and you can purchase your Ice Shakers at www.iceshaker.com. For the past couple weeks now, we have been streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Almost wanted to say Instagram there. We're not quite there yet for Instagram, but
not yet. Almost.
We're not there yet, Ben, but we are back for another show. A nice heavy dose of baseball today. We're going to get you guys the home run derby results. I got some interesting stuff to share for that. For another show. We also are going to get to the MLB All-Star Game. Super pumped up for that. That actually gets underway in less than an hour. I thought it was going to start at 7. I was a little worried. I was like, damn, me and Ben are going to miss it. We're going to have to compete with the All-Star Game. Doesn't start till 8. I must have been looking at the Central Time, so good news for that. We're definitely going to get you guys some MLB midseason stuff. We'll look at some standings, maybe some trades. Also, huge news out of the MLB this past weekend. Juan Soto turned down a 15-year, $440 million deal, $500 million. We got to talk about that. Possible trade packages, Red Sox, Yankees, Mets. I'm hearing Rangers, a bunch of stuff. Every team's in the mix, so we'll get to that. And Ben, this one's courtesy of Ben here. Ben thinking quick here. On the flip side, we're going to get you guys some Madden ratings. We're gonna show the little graphics of the Madden ratings that came out this past week. I think it's been the past couple days they've been shooting them out. So we'll give you our reactions. We'll get to your reactions and comments. Other than that, we are back finally on a Tuesday, Ben. It feels good to be back on a Tuesday. And what better way to get back than with the home run derby last night? That was unbelievable. It was a lot of fun to watch last night. You had Julio Rodriguez killing it. You had Albert Pujols making it to the second round. Juan Soto stealing the show. Kyle Schwarber kind of choking. That was a weird thing. But it was no rest for the weary. A great, great home run derby. I enjoyed it. Ben knows why I enjoyed it. Won a little cash last night. Would have wanted Julio to win. I think he had like 30 extra home runs. But whatever. We're talking about Juan Soto. He's the man of the hour. It fits the topic. He won last night, ousting Julio Rodriguez in the final round. Ben, I thought it was great. 9.5 out of 10. Maybe that's because I had a little bit of stake in this thing, but I enjoyed the home run derby a lot, man.
Perfect description from Josh right there. Gotta give him a little shout out. He beat me to the punch, but yeah, Josh made a little money off of that. Proud of him for those picks. He sniped it right there. He had Soto or Julio Rodriguez winning. So, I mean, that was a perfect final for Josh right there. He was walking away with some cash either way. Was pulling for Julio, like you said, too. Would have won him a little more. And, I mean, like you said, he had just a little bit more home runs than Juan Soto as the combined just 30. He had 32 and then 31, I believe, the second round. So 62 home runs in the first 2 rounds combined. It was just, he put on an insane show. Of course, I had Corey Seager. That was a little tough one. Ran into a monster in Julio Rodriguez, but got a new fan in me. I never really had seen him. I know Jimmy had thrown his name around there. Likes a little young guy for the Mariners. They got a bunch of youth talent over there that you're seeing on this little. I believe they're on a 12-game winning streak right now before the All-Star break. So you're seeing that talent start to form over there, start to really take shape. And Julio Rodriguez is a big part of it. It was huge right there. What a performance. So, Josh put it as 9.5. I'll give it a 9. I just got to be a little salty, but I haven't had too many. I haven't really paid attention to too much of the home run derby over the past couple of years. Obviously, Pete's got the back-to-back, and I remember Shohei had a little nice little sort of round against Juan Soto, I believe, last year. That was kind of an exciting one that I remember, but I haven't really been too invested in it, Josh. But this one kind of brought me back into it. Love seeing these young guys out there, and especially when you got Albert Pujols out there. Everybody's, bowing to him like they should, and, just giving the proper respects to that legend. It was so I had him in the first round. Don't want to brag. Sorry, Josh. I was trying to decide should I say that or not. I didn't win that parlay, but I did predict Pujols in the first round. So I just want to give my credit where I deserve on that one. But it was just awesome to see him out there get a win over Schwarber. Like you said, a little weird one. Usually that's his competition. He's got 29 homers right now, too, second to only Aaron Judge. So you thought he'd put on a little better showing. Strange from him. But all in all, before I want to give myself too much credit for any of the other bets that I almost hit, it was just a great event. Got me interested back into it, Josh. Not going to lie.
And you just beat me to the punch right there. That was going to be the next thing I was going to get to real quick, All-Star break. It really did. Like, just watching it last night, like, I wouldn't say me and you we've kind of pushed out of the casuals, Ben. I feel like we're, you with the parlays and me with the fantasy baseball. We're learning a lot more baseball. It's kind of dragged us back in, and that was going to be my next point, Ben, is I feel like within the last year, there's a lot of young superstars. You mentioned like Fernando Tatis, Acuna, Shohei Ohtani. I mean, even Aaron Judge isn't really young, but he's been there for a while. Mike Trout. Julio, Soto. So there's a lot of guys that are kind of gravitating us back into the sport. Like I said, and I've said this for a while now, I'm loving baseball. I really am. It's climbing that ladder. I was just talking to somebody the other day, and I was saying, I don't know, man. It might be Cowboys and then Yankees in number 2. They might have surpassed the Celtics because my love for baseball is really, really growing. It really is. But I digress. Last night was great. One thing I wanted to point out, and again, Charlie, right on the nail, probably the one of the most underrated points of the Home Run Derby is the pitching. Charlie O'Donnell coming in here out of Facebook saying Julio's pitcher was the talk of the night. That is 100% true. His pitcher was like dead on. If you looked at Juan Soto's pitcher earlier in the night, I was like, oh boy, like his pitcher was kind of bad. It was Acuna's pitcher, excuse me. He was getting a couple inside balls, and it was kind of a struggle. But nice little fun fact to go off the pitchers and how important they are. I guess they say a former catcher, is the best one type of position or type of player, anything, to pitch to you in the Home Run Derby. And I believe Julio Rodriguez's pitcher was a former catcher. I think he played they said it last night in the broadcast. He played for 2 minor league teams. So nice little fun fact there. Just kind of wanted to go off Charlie's point. But a lot of fun last night, Ben. I really, really enjoyed it. And just tip of the cap to Julio. It kind of stinks, like you said. The odds would have been a little bit better if Julio was able to kind of get the win last night. But I'll settle for Soto. I'm walking up plus. It fits him. It's matching. I mean, this probably pushes the trade package to the next level. And, again, just so exciting to see these rising stars, even just playing tonight. Which leads me to my next point. The All-Star game, that's tonight. Let's take a look at some of those players that are going to be playing tonight. We've got Shane McClanahan on the mound for the American League team opposite Clayton Kershaw. He is pitching at home in LA. It slid my mind there. I can't believe hometown pitcher. I don't know how it slid my mind. We've got some good names in the AL like Rafael Devers, Jose Altuve, the young slugger, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's kind of been off to a quiet year. I mean, he started off pretty good, but then you got Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, Stanton, Ohtani, Devers. I don't know if I already mentioned him. Then you look over to the National League. You got Paul Goldschmidt, who's absolutely killing it for the St. Louis Cardinals. The young star, I can't forget about him. Jazz, Chisenholm, who's been killing it. Ronald Acuna, Trey Turner, the speedy guy himself. You got Mookie Betts, Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, a bunch of stars over there on both sides. I'm just going to come out flaring. I'm going to come out flaming. I've done this too many times. I've picked against them too many times. I'm going to go with the AL. I just wanted to come out, get it out of the way. I think the AL wins tonight. I'm going to say 7-6. That's just always that number that sticks in my head here. And nice new fun thing here. If it was to go to, if the game was to end in a tie, both managers would pick 3 players, and it would become a home run derby to represent each league. So 3 swingers for the American League, 3 swingers for the National League, and then I think they would just jumble up the points right there. I mean, I hope they throw it. I hope they literally throw for home run derby again. That'd be awesome. See a nice little tie. I don't think they're going to do that, Ben. I think the AL gets the win, but a lot going on. A lot to be excited about if you're a baseball fan, man.
I didn't know that, Josh, about that home run derby thing. Listen, like you're talking about, baseball's getting back into our lives a little more. We're getting a little more into it. I like seeing these fun things. That gets me interested instead of some of these just boring old things. Just like we mentioned with the home run derby, all this bonus time and all this other stuff that's really made the event much cooler, much more, I wouldn't say watchable, but I mean, it's to be a little different from those days of Josh Hamilton just cranking out 28 in the first round. I like this new setup that we're doing. And I was just looking too. I want to give a shout out to Frammy Pena. I wanted to give a shout out to him. That was Julio Rodriguez, the pitcher for him last night. I just wanted to get his name for it because that was what I was thinking too, Frammy. And he was actually a childhood friend of Rodriguez. He runs a baseball academy in Dominican Republic. Just wanted to shout out him because, like she said, I mean, that was the talk of the night. I was even saying it. I'm not on social media, and I was even thinking of it right there. I was like, who is this guy? He was just pitching just these perfect, spot-on balls, just wasn't even moving, right in the sweet spot for Julio Rodriguez just to take it to that nice little left side field for Dodger Stadium. And he wasn't, if anyone noticed, he wasn't moving his bottom half either. He was just swinging right all with the upper body, throwing it, I should say, all with the upper body. It looked smooth, Tim. I want to give Frammy a little shout out. And Josh was right with the Juan Soto's pitcher. He did struggle a little first. He kind of had talked to him, and they actually moved the mound back for him. I guess Juan Soto won that preference. So, Josh, you said you were wrong on that one. You were right, man. Don't worry. Pitching's really key on this. I mean, I got you, bro. I got you. But pitching really is huge in that. It was just another thought last night. I mean, these guys can hit dingers at the park easily, but pitching is right there. So, I mean, it might be 50-50 in that one. Back to the All-Star game. I'm going to have to go with the American League, too. Just want to get that one out there. We got to side with the American League. I don't know, Josh, if we still do the home field advantage. I don't know if they still do that. I can look that up, but I don't know if they still do that as the winner. That would be kind of cool, but I kind of like that back in the day. The winner of the All-Star game gets home field advantage for the World Series. So the American League wins. Whatever American League team gets there, they get home field advantage. I'm not sure if they still do that, but cool regardless. Yeah, no, probably not. It's just they're changing everything up. So
yeah. So nice little fact here. So the agreement was extended for both 2005 and 2006. So from 2005 to 2016, if your league was to win the All-Star game, you would get the home field advantage. But since 2017, the whole home field advantage has just been awarded to the team with the better record. So whoever makes the World Series with the better record would get the home field advantage. But not to cut you off, Ben, I couldn't agree anymore. I wish they went back to that. Give it more excitement again. I mean, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, this home run derby thing you just mentioned at the end too, and just have all this more pressure. And I know people say, what, the other teams obviously got more of an advantage. It's kind of unfair just for a random game to decide this, but I kind of liked it. It kind of just made that event more interesting. No other All-Star game had something like that, so sad to see it go. Is it really going to turn me from watching it? No, I'm not going to cry over it. But I'm just excited to watch all these guys, and like Jess said, we're learning all these new guys out here, and this is just going to keep adding to it. So, Clayton Kershaw's out there. I hate to root for the Rays guy, but we saw what Shea McClellan could do a couple days for the Red Sox fans. I don't know if he's torched the Yankees like he did against us, but he probably has. So it's tough, Josh, but I'm going with the AL.
Oh, me too. How couldn't you? Shane McClanahan, by the way, phenom, absolute stud. I love this kid. I drafted him in fantasy. You're gonna ream me out for this. I should probably ream myself out. He's led the whole MLB in ERA, a 1.71 ERA with a record of 10 wins, 3 losses. He's just been absolutely unbelievable. I got rid of him. I got rid of him for Soto, though, so it kind of... it was Acuna, excuse me. It was Acuna and Bobby Witt. So I went young.
It's
It's a redraft league, so not fantasy. Probably shouldn't have got rid of him, and you're going to gasp at this guy, too. I got rid of him and Devers.
Who'd you get for Devers?
I got Acuna, Bobby Witt, and
man.
Severino. At the time when I got rid of, Severino was on fire. Everybody was telling me. I know. And I usually don't buy into that. I've been trying to get rid of some of the Yankees guys and trying to get rid of some to the other Yankees fans, but I digress. Yeah, Shane McClanahan, absolute stud. I'm rooting for him on the mound. I'm not even gonna throw my bias in there for as being a Yankees fan. He's unbelievable. So awesome to watch. I mean, you were talking about the Red Sox game, the Yankees games as well. I think in the last 2 games that he had played against both those teams, he only allowed 1 run. And him and Garrett Cole were going at it, and it was like an absolute duel on the mound. I'm telling you right now, this kid is unbelievable. I think he has a chance to win the Cy Young, and I think that's probably what's going to happen. He's kind of running away from it. You've got Dylan Cease on the rise. Otani's putting up a fight. Garrett Cole's getting that ERA kind of under wraps again. But Manoah, too. Watch out for Alek Manoah. He's been a stud. But I think it should go to McClanahan. He's been absolutely unbelievable. And again, Ben, just back to that point that we've stressed about on this show, and I guess I got to give credit to Hein Bloom, even though he's not there, but he did help to build that team. The Tampa Bay Rays just breed studs in prospects. That's what they're known for, and that's kind of what's happening. So McClanahan alongside Clayton Kershaw, I love it. It's kind of a healthy dose of, veteran leadership in Clayton Kershaw, who a lot of MLB fans and casual fans have seen a lot of. And then you're getting Shane McClanahan, on the other hand, who not many fans have seen a lot of, only the real diehard baseball fans have seen. And you're going to get the exposure to an unbelievable pitcher. With my luck, I'll probably get shelled tonight because I'm hyping him up so much. But no, just kidding. He's great. But just want to take a quick little pause here as well. We're talking baseball. Chat's been a little dead, but that's okay. We got Charlie in the chat who commented earlier. We've got 2 Twitch users here. I love when we get the Twitch comments. It makes me feel good because we are finally streaming on 4 platforms right now. We got Sean Shane coming in here. Baseball. We're talking baseball. And we've got cool Uncle Steve Tom, who's been on our podcast to talk UFC in the past. He came in here with the Jorsh. So welcome in here, Tom, Sean, everybody too, and I encourage everybody, join the chat. We're going to shift gears a little bit to more of the juicier stuff in terms of the MLB, but we're talking the All-Star break. Sean saying he likes Twitch more than Facebook. A lot of people do. I know some of Ben's friends said the same thing last week, so we're glad you guys like Twitch. That's why we got it on here, and we're excited to see where it goes. But sticking to baseball, let's talk about it, Ben. I know you really probably don't want to talk about it, and these 2 conversations are going to kind of mesh in here. So we're going to get to the some trade packages. We're going to talk Juan Soto in a minute. Everything's going to kind of interloop here, but I have to do it. We got to do it. Not a good trip for the Red Sox to the Bronx this past weekend. The Yankees putting up 27 runs in 2 games, taking the series. Best 2 out of 3 the Yankees got. Chris Sale got hurt on the mound. Matt Carpenter had the Red Sox number. My guy Garrett Cole finally got the last laugh against Devers and the Red Sox. He had 12 Ks. Just sprinkled on the runs, Ben. Probably at a horrible time for the Red Sox. Going right into the All-Star break, losing to your rivals is tough. Ben, I'm going to hear from you. What are your thoughts on that? Because fire away. Just fire away.
It's Josh. We got to give Josh this one. Yeah, listen, the Yankees, we relish in the Yankees' defeats. We can let the Yankees fans relish in the Red Sox defeats. But I had a little bit of a sense this was coming. I mean, after splitting the series before, and then taking 1 game. I know I said on the show, Red Sox going to take 2 out of 3, which we almost did. But listen, that was just wishful thinking as well. I wasn't expecting them to take game 1. I'll tell you that. After that, I knew the Yankees were going to come back and pound us in game 2. I mean, listen, we're not going to come into Yankee Stadium and win 2 times. I didn't want to lose by that much. And after that Jeter Downs home run in the third game, I was kind of excited. I was ready to go. I said, "Hey, all right, this is the rubber match. Let's just see who the best team is. Let's go out there and put our best foot forward." And kind of got shelled. Matt Carpenter just, I don't know where that guy came from. No, I do know where he came from, but he just for some reason wanted to turn it on against us. It was kind of like Donaldson the first series before. Kind of got a little tough too. I don't know. Nick Pavetta's got to figure out his situation against the Yankees. This guy gets shelled. I think every time he's faced them, he's led a home run against Judge. Just I forget what it was. I believe it was a second or third inning when Carpenter hit that 4-run a 3-run homer, I should say. It's just 2 outs. Pavetta had almost gotten out of it. Got a nice out before. I believe we had gotten Judge out. Or somebody might have been Judge or Stanton, but one of the big boys. Hey, we've got past one of them. 2 outs, should get out of the inning. Then you let up a home run, and that just changes the whole game. Kind of backbreaker in that sense. So Nick Pavetta's got to figure out his situation against the Yankees. Because like you said, Josh, it's pretty rough right now. Blue Jays got ahead of us. I believe we're out of the wild card right now. They're 2 games ahead of us. Orioles are just only 1.5 back from us. They're 46 and 46. Mariners were tearing it apart, like I mentioned earlier. They got the first wild card spot now. Like I said, they're on a 12-game winning streak or something like that. 11? Yep. Oh, man.
14.
14 out there for myself. I mean, like we said, Josh, my guy Ty France over there. Listen, I'm starting to learn some of those guys over there. Landon Gilbert, my pitcher over there. Another guy, another Cy Young candidate over there. I believe it's Landon. I always get it confused. I might have got it wrong, but they got nice pitching staff, nice young guys over there. J.P. Crawford, Carlos Santana. I like that Mariners team. They're not too bad over there, so you got to fact it's not even an AL East race anymore, which it was, and we just had to watch out for the Orioles. Now the Mariners made an appearance. They're mistaken. They're claiming the wild card. Can't forget about the Guardians. They're still hanging around. I mean, that AL Central isn't the best, so I mean, they're still hovering around there. So it's just tough for the Red Sox. To me, we just look so good, and now we're in this spot. It just shows you what happens when you blow these AL East games. I forget the stat off the top of my head, but I know we've got a pretty substantial difference between teams we play against regular outside the AL East. I believe it's 30. These aren't the actual ones, but it's somewhere in the 30s and like 30 and 10. Again, it's not the accurate ones, but we've got above 500, below 500 record against the AL East teams. I believe we're 12 and 24. That might be a little more accurate. Somebody can fact check me on that. I know everybody likes to yell at me in the comments when I get that stuff wrong. Somebody can do that for me there, but it's just tough.
12 and 26 against the AL East this season.
I was close.
Very
Josh,
close.
right there. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for that. It's just you can't do that. You just can't. You can't have, especially teams like against the Yankees, the Rays, Blue Jays. Yeah, you just can't drop series like that against teams that are just that good. I mean, you got to bring it every series. I can stutter and go around in the circles as much as I want, but we just got to win these series. You can't get swept by the Rays, and you can't win one game in the Yankees and then blow it after that. You just put up 3 runs after that. They put up over 20. You just can't do that when you got something. You get a nice one like that. You got to build off that momentum. And they're just blowing all the good work they did. So it's sad to see now. I'm seeing people say, should they be sellers at the trade deadline? I'm saying, I don't know. I'd like to see us still go after it. Still very close. Like I said, we got a bunch of series still with the AL East. Blue Jays right after on Friday, starting on Friday, right after this All-Star break. But plain and simple, Josh, can't keep blowing these AL East games. Got to pick up some of them.
You said it perfectly. That's going to lead me to my next point, which is going to all intertwine there with the Juan Soto. We've got a couple expiring contracts on the men for the Red Sox. We're going to get there. Got a lot of baseball to talk. A little preview. Madden ratings. Some people a little upset with some of them. Jamar Chase, one of them, snubbed. So we'll get into that. That'll be kind of our main event of the show. It seems like football has always been the main event of the show. We'll get to that. So Stay on the edge of your seat for that. I'm just going to get to the chat real quick, and we are talking Red Sox, Yankees. We're going to recap that series, and then we're going to dive right in to some of the midseason standings and stuff that Ben was kind of alluding to, because there's a couple things that I want to throw out there as well. But let's get to you guys. So we've got Sean. Actually, Dakota coming in here. Disgusting. It really was. Like I said, 27 runs in 2 games compared to the Red Sox 4. Just atrocious. Astronomical numbers. That's unbelievable. And Sean coming in here. Are you guys going to get emotes and stuff for the channel on Twitch when you finally get affiliated? 100%. I would love to. We should have Sean help us with modding. You know more of the Twitch stuff, so I'll talk to you about that after the show. I know you had mentioned that, so definitely want to get some of that stuff going.
Appreciate
get some
that.
of the Twitch stuff. Yeah, 100%. We've got Marianne and Nick DeVosta coming in with a couple Red Sox takes. We got Marianne out of Facebook saying, thank God for the All-Star game. The Red Sox need the break to recoup. So kind of on the opposite of what I was saying, and I 100% agree with this as well. I think it came at a great time for the Red Sox. As I mentioned, probably a little bit of a sour taste going into it, but Ben made a great point. They're coming off, they're going back in to start the second half of the season against the Blue Jays. Then they got the Yankees a couple weeks in August down the line, so a lot to kind of chew on there for the Red Sox. Nick DeVosta coming in here, he's kind of getting kind of twirling that magic ball there to what we're going to talk about. Talking about the Red Sox need bullpen help and a first baseman. There's been some rumors about a key first baseman that Dylan has been just preaching for months now, not months, weeks now, that I want to get some of your thoughts, and definitely your thought on that, Ben. And Sean saying he can get some people to do some artwork for this. Couple people who do artwork for streamers I can message. That'd be great. 100%. Get the graphics better, because I try to do the best I can. But like I said, we're about midway through the show. We're talking baseball. Overall, Ben, just to go to your point, I think the Yankees were playing bad baseball. They had lost, I believe, 5 of their last 6 before they started this series against the Red Sox. They lost the series to the Reds, who are not a good team whatsoever. I think they are like one of the worst teams in the NL, even within baseball this year. So they were finally able to kind of get it under track. Great matchup Friday night. That was awesome. Extra innings. Trevino kind of messes that up, as you mentioned, gives you guys kind of that spark you needed, and what was just a game that neither team really wanted to win. But you fast forward, didn't work out too well for the Red Sox in the Bronx, but that's okay. A lot of baseball left. I think they come back to the Bronx in late September. They got another series against the Yankees in August. A lot of baseball left to be played, which is going to lead me to my next point. This is the mid-season break here for the MLB. As Ben mentioned here, you look at let's kind of just look at the wild card standings here, because right now you got the Yankees, Twins, and the Astros all holding the lead for the division winners here, and I think it would be 2 buys. So right now it'd be the Yankees and the Astros. That's a close race for the buys. But this is where things get really interesting, Ben, because I know I came on the show a couple weeks ago and I talked about the Blue Jays and the Mariners underperforming and yada, yada, yada. Now, all of a sudden, the Blue Jays go into the All-Star break 3 games in a row. The Mariners go 14 games in a row. The Tampa Bay Rays beat the Red Sox in a series prior to the Yankees. So the AL East is churning. Then you've got Ben's Orioles, who were on an absolute tear. I know they lost their last game before the All-Star break. But what was it, like 8 or 10? Actually, I think it was like 10 in a row for the Orioles, who, as Ben mentioned, they're only a game and a half behind the Red Sox. And just looking at the wild card standings right now, the Red Sox are 2 games behind the Blue Jays for that 3rd slot. As you guys know, 3 teams make it into the postseason, so don't fret, don't worry. There's plenty of baseball left. And as Ben mentioned, the Red Sox are going to bring things right over against the Blue Jays to actually start off the second half of the season, and then to end the season. I think one of the last series that the Red Sox will play will be in Toronto, so that's going to be pivotal. Another big thing there, guys like Tanner Houck aren't vaccinated. Who knows if he'll be able to go in and play. So those are some massive things that lead to the bullpen like Nick was talking about. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Let's talk about a couple things. Ben said, are they going to be sellers or are they going to be buyers at the trade deadline? Right now, you're standing, I mean, let's just put it out there. I know we've had some crazy things happen. 1978 for the Yankees, they came back. They were down like 13 games, whatever it was. I don't think that the Red Sox, realistically, I personally don't think anyone's going to catch up to the Yankees in that division. They're 13 games ahead of the Rays. But they're in a tough situation, Ben. You've got Devers, who's got like 1 year left after next year. You've got Bogarts, who can opt out, who's looking for a lot of money. JD Martinez, I believe, is on a 1 year deal. I was talking to my friend about it today. He said he thinks that he's got another year. I think it's just this year. He's batting like .316. He's doing great. A lot of stuff is on the table, Ben. You said that they should be sellers. What do you think? I guess this can be kind of a two-part question. This is open to everyone. If they are to sell, who are they going to sell? And if they are to buy, what should they buy? Kind of a double question there. Curious to see what you think for the Red Sox. You know, mid-season break. What are they going to do? The trade deadline's on the rise here.
Yeah, and like you said, everybody throw some comments in there. What you guys think?
Pour them on.
They should do and everything. Nick DeBas said definitely a bullpen and first baseman. I definitely agree with that. After the bullpen, like I said, when we send a guy named Ort out there, I think we need a change. And after seeing some of the performances from Frenchie at first base against the Rays, the one where he threw it to Vasquez, Vasquez isn't even looking. He's had a couple just go under his leg. And I like Bobby D. I know everyone's always crapping on him. I like him still, but he just, like, still my baseball people that know more still say he's just not good enough at first base. You know, just not the talent level there. So I'm still looking for an answer there, and bullpen definitely. I mean, get as much bullpen help as we can. So I would look to be buyers. I know Josh laid out the contract situation. This is JD's last year in his contract. For him, I believe I just looked that one up. So this is his final year. He will earn $19.35 for this year in 2022, his last season. So out of those three, I would honestly, I know you said 316 average. I would let Martinez walk. I know Bogarts is looking for some money, but he's just older than the other guys, 34. If we're going to keep anybody, let's keep Bogarts and Devers. I know Devers is going to want a lot. Bogarts possibly, like I said, opt out and get even more from somebody who's just doing it. So I would try to go after those two. You know, I mean, I wouldn't, you know, because I want to just put all the effort into JD and give up on Bogarts because he's 34 and I don't know how much we're going to get out of him. I know he's still playing great, but it's just not in a position where we, you know, fully need it. Makes you a little sad when you see all five of those guys back together. Those three that we just mentioned, and Benintendi and Mookie Betts together. You know, yesterday they had a nice little picture of those five. Just shows you what, how talented that team was. The Killer Bees in the outfield. Just make you wish, hey, you know, wouldn't we have gotten rid of Martinez? You know, for keep some of those guys. I don't know. I'm just saying, but I would try to keep Bogarts and Devers going forward. Sorry, JD. I love JT. I love everything he's done for us. He's a Red Sox for life. Red Sox for life, sorry. But it's just time to move on from him, and we got to focus on those other two. And I would just say stay, you know, be buyers, Josh, for it. You know, for the Red Sox, might as well just go for it. We're still in this AL wild card. I don't want to see us become sellers and kind of just be one of those teams that does that and kind of gives up on the season. Let's just roll the dice with these guys. Let's see what happens. I think we can get something, you know, together with Devers eventually. Still a little on the fence with Bogarts, but I'd be buyers and try to just do anything we can for this push this season.
And I agree. You know, they're in a really, really difficult situation. It's kind of unknown.
Yeah.
I know I mentioned that with the Bruins, and I'm not trying to kind of beat a dead horse here with the sayings, but you just think of Hein Bloom, you think of John Henry, you mash them together. Hein Bloom is very conservative. He made a lot happen with that Tampa Bay Rays team with a lot of little money. So they made their little splash for Story last year. They're content with that. word around town is, there's been two words around town, is that they're content with both Devers potentially and Bogarts leaving. I don't think that'll be the case. You gotta throw Devers some money. I mean, this kid is unbelievable. He was just batting, 327. I'm gonna quickly look it up. What's he batting right now? Yeah, 324. It's went down 3. All three of those guys who are potentially on the move are batting well over 300. Devers has got 22. Like, listen to this. He's batting 324, 22 home runs, 55 RBIs, and 62 runs. He's been unbelievable this year. Same thing for Bogarts, too. He's batting 3. He's the one batting 316, and then it was JD Martinez who's batting 302 or 304. So all those guys are doing great. You can move around some of those guys. And this is where it gets tricky, Ben, is you think of the ownership, you think of Hein Bloom. I don't think that they're going to make a big splash. I seen Nick DeVosta coming in here by Juan Soto. I mean, if it's there, do it. They're a big market team. I think on paper, I was listening to Sports Hub today, and just a little bit of the MLB Network was talking about it as well. I think it would make a lot of sense for a team like the Red Sox to buy in on a guy like Juan Soto. You know, come in, help to, I mean, because if you're going to get Soto, maybe that intrigues Devers to stay. I mean, I'm thinking that probably does. You probably ship out Bogarts, Martinez, a bunch of prospects. Say bye to Houck, say bye maybe Whitlock. I don't know if your young buck here and Marcelo Meyer, maybe Tristan Casas, however you say his name, maybe Jeter Downs. It would be an absolute haul. They're talking about the craziest trade package of all time. But realistically, a team like the Red Sox should go after Juan Soto. I don't think so. Sticking in Washington, I know a guy that a lot of people have thought could potentially be on the move. It fits Nick DeVosta's little category there in the first baseman. That's Josh Bell. I don't think that's going to needle thread for the Red Sox. I don't think that really pushes them over the top. Is a needle mover, chain mover, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's a small, realistic acquisition that could happen for the Red Sox, fitting under Hein Bloom. They don't like to spend a lot of money right now. John Henry as well. He's got other problems he's trying to figure out, which he drives me nuts, and I'm not even a Red Sox fan. But I think a guy like Josh Bell, Dylan's been talking about it for a while, makes a lot of sense. They traded for Kyle Schwarber last year. Maybe they try, I don't know, I'm blanking. Maybe they try to also go out and get bullpen help. I think a guy like David Robertson would be great. I've floated his name around there. There's a couple other guys as well out there. I could go on and on and on. I don't think you see that Juan Soto splash. I think maybe a team like the Yankees. Honestly, the Dodgers do wild things. So who knows? They're always in contention, and it always seems like they give up a lot. They get a lot and don't give up a lot. So got to keep them on there. I know the Mets, but overall, so yeah, I think Soto ends up with one of those teams, probably the Mets, something like that. They ship out DeGrom or do something crazy. But Red Sox, I don't think that they make a big splash. I think a guy like a Josh Bell, I think there's even a potential chance they stand pat, let it ride out. Maybe they think, oh, you know what? Maybe our trades or moves are going to be trying to keep Bogarts and Devers. Who knows? I don't know what's on their mind, especially with John Henry and Hein Bloom. They kind of try to work things differently. But, yeah, I definitely think their biggest thing, and I just wanted to add here, too, before we switch off here, is that the Red Sox don't need help offensively. I think they need help definitely in the bullpen. They've been doing a great job hitting. I know despite the last 2 games against the Yankees didn't really fare well. But overall, you look at the bullpen, guys like Bobby Ort's not helping, or Kyle, whatever his name is, Kyle Ort.
Who cares, Josh, about that?
Strom, like all those guys are just Dakeman. I mean, these guys are not that good, Ben. Tanner Houck and Whitlock are really the only 2 reliable guys because Matt Barnes hasn't been great since you paid him. So maybe you go out, try to get a first baseman, try to get a little bullpen depth, but they're not going to make the big splash for Soto. You heard it here. If they do, I will be absolutely surprised, but expect a small market move in a big town. I know it makes no sense, but I think that's what they do.
Yeah, no, I agree. Soto, like you said, I just think, Josh, unfortunately, I think he's going to be a New York Yankee. I'm dead set on
You
it. I
think
he's
so?
going to be a New York
Wow.
Yankee. I think no matter what's going to happen, it doesn't matter about any of these trades. He can go wherever he wants. They can do whatever. I was just looking up too. I was trying to see potential trade partners. I know, sort of Josh was mentioning teams like the Mets. I know I was going to throw out the Orioles too. Just teams with just huge farm systems because you're going to give up. You're going to have to give up the whole farm. You're going to have to basically give up everything for a player like him who just turned down $500 million, which is still crazy. The Nationals tried, but yeah, he doesn't want to play in that market. He's won a World Series there. It's unfortunate to be the Nats fans right now, but he's got to move on. He's got that feel. But more importantly, I think he has that New York feel. He's just got something about him on the Yankees. I just see them shelling out for that one. Another possible interesting one that I've heard: Cardinals and maybe Angels. I've seen the Angels one floated out there. Maybe ship out Shohei. Shohei's a part of the package. Pair Trout and Juan Soto in the outfield. That's a little interesting. Team you got over there. Obviously, they say where the pitching goes. If you lose Shohei, the Angels really don't have any pitching with Shohei. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter. The Angels got to get way better in that department. But I think that's just another team with a splashy player like Shohei. You just throw a bunch of picks. You get a couple other farm guys. You're going to need a guy like that, obviously not a player of Shohei's caliber. Shohei's it's not a lifetime player, but somebody of that magnitude, somebody in that ballpark around there. The big name prospect, and you're going to have to throw in a bunch of other ones and a bunch of picks for Soto. Because, that's just how much it is. He's 23. He's so crazy to think about. He's 23. He's already won a World Series. He's already accomplished so much.
Home run derby now.
Home run derby now. He won a milli last night, so he's feeling it. And I just think for some reason, I think he's just going to the Yankees. I think the Yankees just going to give him that money that he needs. He said, I don't know about this contract situation, even if he gets traded. I don't know. I think he's just still got a year up on his deal right now. He just signed a 1-year deal with the Nats, so they would have to maybe figure out something there. Probably have to get an agreement from Soto that he would sign an extension. So, if he doesn't get traded by the trade deadline, then I think it's for sure he's going to be a Yankee next season, without a doubt. It's unfortunate, but I just got a feeling about him. But to be honest, it's just, you need a team like the Orioles who just got the #1 pick, Jackson Holiday, and just have so much farm depth and talent there and picks, just to be able to trade with the Nats and to even consider giving up a player like him. So it's going to be tough, like I said. What teams to watch out for? Josh threw out a couple. I'm going to throw out Cardinals, Angels, and Orioles are the dark horse. They're not going to do it. They're not going to give up everything.
That'd be crazy.
Too much. Yeah, they've got what the asking price is, but I think they're just going to hold on to it. But you never know. That really would be an interesting team over there. But good for Juan Soto winning that home run derby. I don't know if I would have turned down that offer, Josh. It's a lot of money. I would have just maybe chilled the rest of my career. I got a World Series. Washington's not too bad, but I could see why he still made this move. Wants to stay competitive. Nats aren't doing that right now. So I support the move from Soto, and I think he's going to be a Yankee. Fortunately.
I'd literally pray for that. I think you made a very good point because everybody, even my mind, like all the baseball guys, just everything, the gods for baseball, the writers, everything. They're literally thinking like, deadline. It's going to happen at the deadline. You made a very good point. I think it should. If you're the Nationals, you want to get value back. You don't want him to just walk in free agency. But I didn't even think about that. If he hits the open market, now we're really talking. It's just empty checkbook, sign it. But I think the one thing that was kind of holding him back is he wants to win. Like you said, I know he's won before, but let's face it, the Nationals are trending in the opposite direction. And two, that average salary cap the average salary per year, $19 million a year. He scoffs at that. I know it's almost $500 million and $440 million, and a lot of it probably guaranteed. A lot of longevity. Players love that. The 15-year deal, everything, yada, yada, yada. But he doesn't want that. He wants to go. And it's crazy that you say that because if he hits the open market, that'd be wild too. But we're going to keep us on the edge of our seats. We got a lot of baseball to talk. We'll get back to this. We'll come back. Again, Red Sox fans, hold tight. I don't think it'll be the Red Sox, but Nick DeVosta coming in here as well. I know you mentioned briefly, too, the Cardinals. Padres as well have floated that idea around. Imagine that trio of Machado, Tatis, and Juan Soto. That'd be unbelievable. So who knows? Who knows what they do? We're going to have to wait and see. That's come. The trade deadline's on the rise. And I also want to mention I would love for a guy like DeGrom to leave. Hint, hint. If the Yankees could get him. I'm obsessed with DeGrom. So that'd be good as well. He's on a contract year. Just want to throw that one out there. But that wraps it up for baseball. We got a lot of baseball for you guys. We're going to get to a topic here. We're getting towards the main event of our show that Ben mentioned. Something that gets players super riled up. Every year somebody's gotten upset. I know Des Bryant in the past. Jamar Chase this year kind of feels snubbed. I personally think he is. We'll get a little bit more to those as well. You've got Tom Brady in the past, who was the whole speed rating, and his rating he didn't like. I think in his second year they literally forgot to put him in the game or something, he was saying, which was hilarious. Said, yeah. So a lot of interesting stuff. A couple visual things here. So we've been doing a lot of talking. Now you guys can do a little bit of visualization here. But without further ado, here we go. I guess we're going to start off with the top 10 overalls for linebackers in Madden 2023. Madden 23, excuse me, that's coming out. That should be out in like the end of August. I'm excited for that. Always a fun play. But Ben, I'm just going to quickly look down the list here. I'll do the top 5. We've got Fred Warner, 94. Demario Davis, 93. Levante David, 92. Bobby Wagner, 91. Darius Leonard, 90. You can kind of pick a couple of the other ones. Devondre Campbell, that's a nice little underrated guy, the former Falcon, the Packer on that list. We've got Micah Parsons on there as well. Roquan Smith, he's always been a dog. I might as well just do the whole thing. We've got Devin White cracking the top 10, Dylan's favorite.
85, Josh. Ooh, I'm sorry, Josh, to cut you off. I had to just jump in there. 85 for Devin White. That is disrespectful. I don't really like that one either. He's still young, very talented. A little confused by that one. And Darius Leonard, too, 90. That's a little shocking from him. I mean, a leader over there in Indy. I mean, he was one of the best players I've seen in a while. So I'm a little shocked by that. Maybe the stats I haven't seen. Maybe I'm missing something, but sorry to cut you off, Josh. I'm just a little kind of taken aback.
You and me both. Me too. I mean, Devin White emerged as like one of the best. You could kind of make the case. I mean, I might be getting a little crazy, but maybe he was top 5, top 6 linebacker last year. I mean, that, or at least that core. The core of him and Levante David was definitely a top 3 core. Just in terms, or duo, excuse me, in whatever linebacking core for the Bucs. They've got studs, but I agree. Just looking at Bobby Wagner, maybe give him like a 92. I don't know. I'd probably give him the slight edge over Levante David. I know he's getting older, but maybe that's just I'm living off the name. Fred Warner, I like that one. He's been a tackling machine. That's fine with me. Demario Davis as well. He's always a dog. I don't think there's anybody on this top 10 list that they're missing. Maybe I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. I like the Micah Parsons 188. I think that's fine. Roquan Smith as well. Eric Kendricks, I didn't know he had that good of a year. He might be a little high. But other than that, I definitely agree with the Devin White one. I think that's the first one that kind of jumped out to my mind as well. But I don't have that much of a problem with this list.
Yeah, this one not too bad over there. Miles Jack dropped out of the top 10. I don't like seeing that, but hey, that's what happens. But yeah, overall, Josh, I agree. They got it pretty much right. I could probably go the opposite of you. I think Levante David's a little better than Bobby Wagner now, so I'd probably lean with them on that one. But pretty much, I think they got this one right.
Agreed. Yeah. I think the wide receiver one's going to get a lot of talk.
Yeah, the wide receiver, definitely.
But we're getting there. We've got the edge rushers here. This is one of my favorite positions in the NFL. We've got Myles Garrett leading the way at 99. He's in the 99 club. We've got T.J. Watt, 96. Nick Bosa, the better Bosa. I've been saying this for a while now, 94. Von Miller at 92. One of the old veteran guys there. He's always cracking the list. We got Khalil Mack at 5 for a 92. The Charger, now that sounds weird to say. Oh, 2 Chargers are on this list as well. We got Joey Bosa at 91, Cameron Jordan at 91, DeMarcus Lawrence at sitting at the number 8 spot with a rating of 90. Chandler Jones, rating of 90. He's been consistent for the past 3 or 4 years. And Rashawn Gary, another guy that Dylan has absolutely hyped up. That's kind of a shocker, but I like a lot of these. I think TJ Watt should be a little higher, man. Maybe even you can make the case for him to be a 99. I mean, this is didn't he win Defensive Player of the Year last year, or am I out of my mind?
No,
yeah,
he did,
so
he did. Tied the sack record.
Yeah, I mean, 96 is a little disrespectful. I think they get a little trigger happy for Myles Garrett. Yeah, I mean, what the hell? I would put him to 99. I would put him above Garrett. Maybe put Garrett at 98, 97. Yeah, that's I don't. If I'm a Steelers fan, I'm having a problem with that. Other than that, I think they're okay. Maybe knock down Lawrence a couple notches. He came on later in the year last year, but I'm okay with the rest. But the TJ Watt, he should be a 99. Come on now.
Hey, Josh, I like that too. I was going to give him a 98. I was going to say, hey, 98. I didn't want to be totally, biased for me, but appreciate you showing some love there. I mean, listen, him and Myles Garrett are just the best. I mean, it's just 1-2, and like you said, maybe it's just kind of everybody getting used to just putting Myles Garrett 99. I mean, look at him. He's still he's kind of a monster out there. He just, even still, his production has never dropped. He's gone bigger over his career, has gone longer, and he just gets better every season. So maybe some Myles Garrett fatigue from some people, but I'd still give him 99. I mean, he's still just a monster over there. But yeah, I'd like to see Watt a little above a 96, 97, 98. I mean, just Defensive Player of the Year, like you mentioned, tied the career sacks for the most sacks in a season with, I believe it was 23.5. Ty Strahan. So everything else I pretty much agree on. Maybe another one, Rashawn Gary. I just didn't know Rashawn Gary was that good right there. I mean, if Packers could have kept Zadarius Smith, they would have had a nice little edge rusher situation over there. But I guess that was one of the reasons why they let Zadarius go. They wanted to let Rashawn get out there and branch out and take over sort of that role. So good for them in that one, but another decent list, Josh. Nothing too crazy on that one besides those two right there. I think they got it right. You're more of the expert in DeMarcus Lawrence. I thought that was you kind of gave your critiques on that. I thought the 90 was good right there for him. And Danielle Hunter, just people that dropped out of it. J.J. Watson, Darius Smith, Danielle Hunter, all still great guys, still great players at that position. But edge rushers, Josh, they're just it's a great position right now in the NFL.
Oh, 100%. Who doesn't want to tackle the quarterback or sack the quarterback? Either or, picking poison. We've got Zach coming in here. Cameron Jordan should be a 95. He's got the Saints bias there. Maybe 92, 91. I think it's fine.
I'll give him 92. I like that one.
Yeah, 92. Bump him up one for Zach, the Saints fans. Longevity, whatever. We've got Sean. Everyone should just be a 99. That will make everyone happy. It is funny, Sean. It is such a big debacle every year for the Madden overall ratings. It always gets a lot of people revved up. Here we go. If you're a New England fan, you like this one. You got a New England Patriot cracking the top 10. But leading the list here, this is no surprise. It should be. I like the way that this is for the top 3. I think it's undisputed. Whenever we have debates, you think of these top 3. But we've got Travis Kelce, number 1 with a rating of 98. George Kittle, number 2, 97. Mark Andrews, 93. You guys can read the rest. But just looking at this right here, I was a little disappointed in one thing, and I think Ben knows where I'm going to go with this. I thought Dalton Schultz maybe like an 83, 84, maybe 85. I don't know. I thought he had a better year than Zach Ertz. I think Zach Ertz is just living off the name for that rating. He had a very drop-off year. I think maybe you swap out Ertz and Schultz. Maybe you can bump up Hunter Henry as well. I think he led the league in for end zone touchdowns for tight ends. But the top half of it, I have no problem with. I like the Travis Kelce over Kittle. The injuries and longevity, that plays a long factor for me. I like Kyle Pitts, 87. Gesicki 86 as well. Goddard's a dog. I think 85's fair. T.J. Hawkinson as well. But I thought Dalton Schultz should be in this list. He was a top 10 tight end statistically last year. And I think Zach Ertz is just living off the name. I'm not only saying it because he's an Eagle, but he was probably one of my favorite players in the league for a while. So, but I don't think he should be in the top 10, Ertz. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that one either, Josh. Kind of got a little fatigue from him as well for the name. A decent half of the season when he got traded to the Cardinals, but still, maybe you want to give it to a younger guy too, like Dalton Schultz. But guys that dropped out of it, Austin Hooper and Gronk, obvious guys that got dropped out of the list. But I think pretty much other than Dalton Schultz, maybe a little questioning. Josh can maybe put up a little bigger of a fight than that. Listen, I think Dalton Schultz is great, but I think I'd keep the list as it is now. Tight ends are pretty easy. Like Josh mentioned, that you got Kelsey Kittle, Mark Andrews. Then obviously go Waller, and then it's just pretty much the rest of the guys. So I mean, T.J. Hawkinson and Kyle Pitts competing. Those guys will probably swap in a couple of years. But tight end position is pretty solid, and I think they got it down pretty good.
Same, yeah. I thought not much of an issue. I just got upset with
tight
Schultz.
End's easy.
Yeah, it's not bad. They haven't come out with quarterbacks and running backs yet, or at least I could have found the graphic for it. We can maybe get to those another week. But to wrap it up, the talk of the town here. I was going to go with them first, but I was like, you know what? This actually works perfectly in order. We'll go with the wide receivers to finish. I'll do the top 5. You guys can read the rest. Devontae Adams cracking. He made the 99 list. Number 1 leads it. Can make a little argument here. Cooper Kupp, number 2, 98. You got Tyreek Hill, 97. DeAndre Hopkins, who had a very off year, 96. Talk about living off that name. Stephon Diggs, 95. And then the rest, big issue. Jamar Chase should 100% be in this top 10. He should be above my guy, Amari Cooper. I love Amari Cooper, but off year. DeAndre Hopkins off year. Jamar Chase was unbelievable last year. I think he finished like top 3, top 5 for stats statistically for wide receivers last year. I'm okay with putting Devontae Adams at number 1 over Cooper Kupp. I know Cooper Kupp, the Triple Crown winner and everything, but I'm hating that Jamar Chase is not in there, and I think that's kind of been the talk of the town on Twitter, and he's pissed about it. Second year in a row he's been snubbed. I know rookie year is kind of tough. They always give you tough ratings when you're a rookie because you got to earn your stripes. But he should be in the top 10. This is ridiculous. I think if anyone should be upset, it should be him. I love Keenan Allen. I think he should be there. Terry McLaurin as well. But I think you could still even make the argument. I think maybe he should be number 7. Maybe number 6. I think DeAndre Hopkins should be moved down a couple places. He really went missing last year. Me personally, I would do the list of Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, then I would do Jamar Chase. So maybe that would slot Chase up to 6, but he's way too low. Jamar Chase is way too low. Dylan, if you're watching, I got your back. And Zach saying, where's Thomas at? So I'll leave that one for you. He didn't really play last year, but yeah, where is Michael Thomas at? I don't even know.
I still think they gave him a 90, Josh, so give him a 90. He's still up there, Zach, so don't worry. Fine. Yeah, listen, like you just mentioned, I mean, he didn't play at all last year, so, I mean, not fall to his own. I mean, still injured, still recuperating from that ankle surgery. So, I mean, listen, he didn't play at all last year. It's kind of tough to put him in there, but completely agree with you on that D-Hump one. That was my major one besides Jamar Chase, obviously. I love Diggs too, fantasy affiliation, but you got to give it to him over there. I think Diggs is just better at this point. Like you said, D-Hop name. He was injured too last year. Still a phenomenal athlete, still a great wide receiver, but just he's fallen off these last couple of years, especially last season. And Diggs has just only gone up. So I love Diggs. I think you should swap those two. Fortunately, I'm probably kicking out Amari Cooper out of this list for Jamar Chase. I'd probably put Terry at 10, then I'd go Jamar at tied for 8th, probably with Keenan Allen. I can't give it above Mike Evans yet. Mike Evans has established himself as one of the best in the league. He's still doing this thing. Haven't really seen too much of a drop off there. Still one season for Jamar, but as much as I hate to say, you gotta give him the props. I mean, he just, I still think about
True.
that touchdown he had on the Ravens where he just spun out of it and just went the whole, felt like the whole field, 3 touchdowns that game. I think he was just had an unreal season. He's going to be an unreal player. But I put him definitely in the top 10 now. We just wouldn't put him above some of those guys like Mike Evans and D-Hop just yet. But he's well on his way there. And touching on that Cooper Cup one, yeah, I might as well give Cooper Cup that 99. I don't know why they didn't. I don't have a problem with Devontae having it, but give them both it. Why not? And then Tyreek and everybody else. Their ratings are pretty good. Tyreek 97, but you got to give Coop the 99 after the Triple Crown. So I was a little surprised by that, but other than that, other than those big ones, I hate it, but you got to put Chase in there.
And I agree, Ben. I think you said it perfectly. I think Amari Cooper, as much as I love him, he's not a Cowboy anymore, but I think he should be out of the top 10. And I actually kind of agree with you. I think you've swayed me a little bit. Mike Evans, I think, he's earned his right. The only reason why I just say the Hopkins one, because he kind of had a year off. I don't know. I think there's a little bit of personal bias that goes into fantasy because he has screwed me 2 years in a row. I don't even want to talk about Hopkins, but I think overall they did a pretty good job. The Jamar Chase one, though, I think that's really he should be in the top 10. And was there any notable guys that slipped out of the top 10, Ben? I know you were naming some earlier.
Just some of them last year. Julio Jones was ranked number 5 last year. They got him out. And Allen Robinson was 10. He is out of top 10 this year. So I was a little surprised Julio was that high last year. I was kind of shocked by that. Did not expect him to be ranked number 5 going to Tennessee. But I don't know what that was about. But I think they got it right for the most part.
The fatigue, you might be right, living off that name.
I don't know.
Living
We
off
might
that
be,
name.
like you said, Josh. I mean, we might see some of that next year. Obviously, I'm already thinking Madden 24, but I mean, some of these guys, some of the fatigue guys, might be gone next year, like the D-Hops and the Zach Ertz. Just something to watch out for.
Definitely. And one thing that's kind of crazy to think about, Julio Jones, I don't even think he's signed to a team right now. That's wild. If I told you that 3 years ago, you'd say, arguably, he's probably the best in the league. So. Yeah. A lot can change in football. Talk about longevity. It's important for me. I know I was kind of stressing that in terms of the list. Great show tonight. Fast one. We went through everything. I don't want to keep you guys holding because I want to get you guys off to that MLB All-Star game. Both me and Ben, we've got the AL teams. Shout out to my guy, Shane McClanahan. Hope he kills it on the mound tonight. I got a couple things I wanted to rattle off. Juan Soto, I'd love to have him come to New York. And yeah, Jamar Chase snub. What the hell, Madden? I know it's tough for Ben to kind of say because he plays in the division. At first, I'm like, why is it tough for Ben? And then I'm going, oh yeah, the Bengals. Or as Ben or Nick and Miriam want to call them, the Bungles. But again, just want to thank everybody for joining. Great show, and next week we'll see you guys. We'll be recapping that Blue Jays Red Sox series. We'll get you a couple more takes as well, maybe some more Madden ratings. We'll keep those pouring in. So just want to say thank you to everybody for joining, and as always, I will kick it off here or leave it off to Ben.
Yeah, sorry, Josh, with the Bungles one. I can't call them that anymore. Those guys earned their right now. It's tough to say, tough to call them the Bengals now, but you gotta give them the respect. Listen, those guys are gonna be around for a little while now. We're gonna have to stop Jamar Chase or try to figure out someone who can do that. So give the respect to the Bengals for that one. Shout out AL, like I said, McClanahan. The rest of the guys over there, let's go AL. Pretty scary lineup they got over there once you start looking at some of these lineups. That's the great thing about the All-Star game. Just awesome to see some of these stacked lineups go against each other. So go AL, and I guess go Red Sox.